welcome to the weekly economic snapshot. This week I'm here with Alexea Veneracion from Visit Colorado Springs. First of all, for those who aren't familiar, what does Visit Colorado Springs do?
So Visit Colorado Springs is the marketing arm of the city of Colorado Springs for the destination. So we're called a destination marketing organization, and we represent Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak region. So we go out from El Paso County all the way to Teller County and Fremont County. But really our mission is to help create economic vitality for the region. And our main goals right now are really improving off-season visitation and increasing visitor length of stay.
Now, you recently released some new numbers on the visitation that we had to Colorado Springs last year. What did those show?
Yeah, we get data every year from a place called Longwoods International, and we didn't really know exactly what to expect for 2025. As people know, we had challenges. Costs were rising. There were some government travel restrictions throughout the year. Our major government shutdown we had in late October into November. And with a tense political climate, there was some drops in international visitation. So we didn't know what those numbers would show, but when we did get that data in May of this year, we saw that our numbers did hold strong. So we saw even some slight increases in visitation and visitor spending over 2024. So that looked like 25.6 million visitors to the region who spent $3.1 billion. Still very strong, and again, slightly ahead of our record year of 2024.
Well, certainly when I look at the national data on travel and tourism, last year was a pretty rough year. How is it that Colorado Springs is holding its own so well in this difficult environment?
Yeah, it is interesting. I started at Visit COS in 2020, just weeks before the pandemic hit. So I've been through worse with the organization for sure. And even back then when travel was fully restricted and there were such limitations an entire year plus leading after that with masking and event size and all of that, Colorado Springs still held its own back then. We were among the highest occupancy rates for a while there. And a lot of that can be attributed to our access to the outdoors, wide open spaces. Going on a hike doesn't cost people money. So a lot of people did flock here. And right now there's similar concerns like costs and rising gas prices and fuel with airfare. And so we're kind of seeing the same thing come into play again with our region's resiliency. People still want to take trips, but maybe they don't want to spend as much money or they don't want to go as far. So we're in a prime spot in Colorado Springs to cater to that audience.
So you think there's a bit of a silver lining for us in that?
I do. Yeah, we've seen that resiliency even back with the pandemic and starting to see that this year too.
So we're getting into the peak summer travel season. Are there any particular events that you're excited about drawing visitors to the region later this summer or for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we've got our signature events. We had the hill climb. They just did some practices for that this week, and that's been exciting to have that coming up. We've got Pikes Peak Apex bike race just took place last week. The summer never stops, for event wise. And then leading up into Labor Day liftoff at the end of the summer, we're always excited about the boost that brings. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's been really exciting. This year's a little special because it's America 250, Colorado 150 celebration. So we've got some big events throughout the summer for that. And it really culminates on August 1st, which is Colorado Day, where there's some really big festivals taking place in town. So we're looking forward to that too.
And you mentioned that one of your goals is to get more off-season travel. What are you doing to try to generate more visitors in the normally quiet parts of the year?
Yeah, a couple things there. We put money into our first ever winter campaign last year, winter leisure and winter meetings and events for event planners. And we're repeating that again this year. It was very successful when we tried it last season and did a great job showing people all of the great things they can enjoy in the winter. We really have a mild climate, not usually as mild as we had last winter, but still the sun comes out. It's not just gray skies. So we really put that forward. And another thing I'm really excited about, not just for off season, but really increasing length of stay for visitation. I've been putting my heart into an itineraries hub on our website, visitcos.com. So it'll be a very robust hub of itineraries. People can search by their travel party type if they're a solo traveler or with young kids or with a multi-generational family or a girls trip. They can search by topic of interest if they love sports or outdoor adventure or arts and live music. They can search by regional area if they really want to get into the Royal Gorge area or Manitou Springs or North COS. We're going to have itineraries for all of those things and more. It's live right now. It's just soft launched. So we've got a few up and a few that are already out. And then over the next month, all of the rest will roll out. And we'll keep adding to it too as we see demand for different types of searches people have as they plan their trips, but it'll integrate really nicely with the way people use AI tools. That's been a huge thing we've had to think about lately. It changes the way people build itineraries and the way they search on Google AI overviews or with Claude. So we're keeping that in mind with this hub too, which will be cool.
Well, it's really encouraging to see how travel and tourism here have held up despite all the difficulties we've been facing, and really appreciate the efforts that you and your team do to promote economic vitality for the region. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching. We're off next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks.